All right, folks, Donald Trump now live is making his remarks after winning the New Hampshire primary. I think copyrighted music is playing right now, but we will start it right as soon as the music stops. He is live on the stage. As you can see, Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy's there. All right, so the same kind of cast we saw last night is still there in New Hampshire today. And let me see. Can we turn on the audio now? Okay, we can't. When the song is over, I will tune in. But yes, here is Donald Trump's victory speech after we just listened to Nikki Haley, basically pretend that she won and pretend that this was still a race. That was insufferable to watch, to say the least. But anyways, folks, here's the actual winner of the New Hampshire primary, Donald Trump. Here you go.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Whoa. Well, I want to thank everybody. This is a fantastic state. This is a great, great state. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three. We win it every time. We win the primary. We win the generals. We've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important. If you remember, in 2016, we came here and we needed that win, and we won by 21 points, and it was great. And today, I have to tell you, it was very interesting because I said, wow, what a great victory. But then somebody ran up to the stage all dressed up nicely when it was at 7. But now I just walked up and it's at 14. But she ran up when it was 7. And, you know, we have to do what's good for our party. And she was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win, she lost. And you know, last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa. And I looked
she lives
around,
in Barbie
I said,
Dream
she
World.
Come in third? Yeah, she came in third. And then I looked at the polls. She was talking about most winnability, who's going to win, and I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden. Almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night. And you...
true.
You have the...
So true.
You have the now very unpopular governor of this state. This guy, he's got to be on something. I've never seen anybody with energy. He's like hopscotch. And, I'm watching this guy, and 2 weeks ago he said, we're going to win in the landslide. We're going to win. About 3 days ago he started saying, well, we want to do well. That's a big difference. But I walked out just now, we're 14 points up, and I don't know what it's going to be. But when she was up here, it was like 6 or 7.
It was.
And, with like 7% of the vote counted. Now, let me just tell you, we had an unbelievable week last week in Iowa. We set a record. It was the best in the history of the caucus, in the history. And I remember I sort of had the same feeling. I'm up and I'm watching, and I said, she's taking a victory lap. And we beat her so badly, but Ron beat her also. You know, Ron came in second and he left. She came in third and she's still hanging around.
Real.
The other thing, she only got 25% of the Republican votes. I don't know if you saw that. Tremendous numbers of independents came out because in this state, because you have a governor that doesn't frankly know what the hell he's doing in this state. In the Republican primary, they accept Democrats to vote. In fact, I think they had 4,000 Democrats before October 6th. They already voted. Now, they're only voting because they want to make me look as bad as possible. Because if you remember, we won in 2016. And if you really remember, and if you want to play it straight, we also won in 2020. By more. And we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016. But as they said, we lost by a whisker, just by a whisker. No. But we can't let that happen. You know, you have to have people that speak up. I said, I can go up and I can say to everybody, oh, thank you for the victory. It's wonderful. Or I can go up and say, who the hell was the imposter that went up on the stage before and like claimed a victory? She did very poorly, actually. She had to win. The governor said, she's going to win, she's going to win, she's going to win. Then she failed badly. Now I have here, if he promises to do it in a minute or less, but the only person more angry than, let's say me, but I don't get too angry, I get even. The only person, because he was there, and he did fantastically well, by the way, and then he endorsed me. And we don't have to talk about Tim Scott, who, by the way, just got engaged, we have to tell you. And that's more important than all of this stuff. But a man that got to know her very well is Vivek. I said, Vivek. Woo! I said, Vivek, go up and say a few words about it. He has to do it in 1 minute or less, and then we're going to just say, we had one hell of a night tonight. And one other thing, before Vivek comes, do you see that poll? We're going to put it up. We have beaten Biden. You could almost say, who can't? Who the hell can't? The man can't put two sentences together. He can't find the stairs off a stage. Who can't? But Vivek, 1 minute or less. Go do it, Vivek.
What we saw tonight is America first defeating America last. That's what we saw tonight.
So true.
If you want America last, you can go to Joe Biden. You got another candidate still apparently in the Republican primary. Cut your Social Security to fork over more money to Ukraine so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house. Go to Nikki Haley. But you know who delivered a double-digit victory tonight? It is a double-digit victory as of right now, is this man, Donald J. Trump, the leader of America First. And that means something. Now,
100%.
USA and Donald Trump, America First. Now, I got 30 seconds left. I want to make this point here, okay? We got to say this. We got to say this right. What we see right now with her continuing in this race is the ugly underbelly of American politics, where the mega donors are trying to do one thing when we, the people, say another. And it's up to us, to we, the people, to at long last say, hell no. We, the people, create a government that is accountable to us. And we, the people, have said tonight we want, again, as we did in Iowa, Donald J. Trump. And so you want to actually speak truth. That's the truth tonight. And the only thing they're rooting for is an ugly thing that we don't want to see happen. That's what these people are rooting for, is playing to say long enough so the Reid Hoffmans and the ugly Democratic George Soros Jr.'s who are funding the lawsuits against Trump can prop up their puppet. We say no to that vision. I say the general election begins tonight, and this man will win it in a landslide. God bless you, Donald J. Trump. Vote Trump USA.
So true.
Very nice. Wasn't that nice?
So true. They need this at every rally.
This was a great evening, and I want to thank everybody in the audience, and I want to thank the people that are standing behind me. You know, I think we called it right. Immigration's a big deal, a very big deal. We have millions and millions of people flowing into our country illegally. We have no idea who the hell they are. They come from prisons, and they come from mental institutions, and it's just killing our country. And I'm talking about millions and millions and millions. They are drug dealers. They're everybody, and they come in just like walking right through. There's nobody to check, and there's nobody to vet. And we have a man with us tonight, Tom Homan, who is central casting. He's central casting. And I'd like you to say a few words about the border and who's going to solve that problem and how quick are we going to do it, Tom? Go ahead, please.
Look, I worked for 6 presidents, not Ronald Reagan, and every president I ever worked for did something to secure the border. But no one did more than President Trump, the most secure border in my lifetime. the most secure border we've ever seen. And Donald Trump's going to do it again. We're going to lock the border down, and we're going to protect Americans. Because what's happening at the border right now, a record number of Americans have died from fentanyl poisoning. A record number of migrants have died. A record number of women and children have been sex trafficked. A record number of known suspected terrorists across the border. There's one man who's proven he can secure the border, and he's standing to my left, Donald J. Trump. He's going to do it again.
Real.
Thank you very much, Tom. So this is an evening that I will not forget because it's the third time. But more importantly, I think it's going to be the most important time. We won both. It was, I think somebody said you rarely, if you win both, they've never had a loser. Let me put it that way. When you win Iowa and you win New Hampshire, they've never had a loss. There's never been. So we're not going to be the first, I can tell you. And I just do want to reiterate the polls. We're way up on everybody. We're way up on Biden. And over the last couple of months, if you check, and you have to remember, in 2016, they were saying, oh, what does he know about elections? He's not going to win. He can't win. He can't. Well, we won. And we got millions, and you can check this, and I hope the cameras don't turn off because they hate this, but we got millions and millions of more votes the second time. Right, Mr. Congressman? Millions and millions of more votes. And but we had COVID, and they used COVID to cheat, and they did a lot of other things, too. We're not going to let that happen, and that's still going along. We don't forget. You can never forget history, because if you forget, you never recover from it, and you repeat, and we're not going to repeat. We're going to have the greatest election success. We're going to turn our country around. If you take a look throughout the history of our country, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of this not great country right now, it's a country in decline, it's a troubled country, it's a failing country, frankly. But if you took the 10 worst presidents and put them together, the 10 worst, absolutely 10 worst. I used to say 5. Remember, I'd say 5. Then I said, wait a minute, we can add another 5. They would not have done the damage that crooked Joe Biden has done to our wonderful country. They would not have done the damage. There's never been anything like it. And you say, are they stupid people? I don't think so, because nobody can cheat that well if they're stupid. Do they hate our country? They must hate our country, because there's no other reason that they can be doing the things they do. Take a look. The taxes, they want to raise your taxes times 4. They want to let the Trump tax cuts, the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, they want them to expire. Your taxes are going to go through the roof. You take a look at regulations. They're throwing regulations. You can't breathe. You can't even breathe with what they're doing. You take a look at our border. So bad. There's never been a border like this in the world. 4 years ago, we had the safest, best border in the United States. I built hundreds of miles of border wall. And they always say, oh, he didn't build hundreds of miles, because if there's a board laying on the ground, they say that's a renovation. They call it a renovation. If there's 2 nails laying from 50 years ago, they say, oh, that was a renovation. These are very dishonest people, and you're always fighting them.
That's true,
And
by
just
the
a
way.
little note to Nikki. She's not going to win. She's not going to win. But if she did, she would be under investigation by those people in 15 minutes. And I could tell you 5 reasons why already. Not big reasons.
Because she's corrupt.
A little stuff that she doesn't want to talk about. But she will be under investigation within minutes.
Yep.
And so would Ron have been. But he decided to get out. He decided to get out. Now, Vivek, I don't think would be at all, because he's perfect, right? And Tim Scott, I know would never. That's no chance. Hey, Tim, do you want to say something? Come on. I want him to say something.
New Hampshire. The president said a double-digit win in New Hampshire, and you delivered a double-digit win for President Trump. But I'm going to invite you to my home state starting tomorrow, where this election is over. It is time for the Republican Party to coalesce around our nominee and the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Let's get that party started tonight.
It's not a good look, by the way, for Nikki Haley that the entire South Carolina political coalition is behind Trump. Okay, just saying. You say, oh, you're going to win South Carolina. Okay, good luck with that.
Good guy.
Good luck with that.
What a good man he is. But just remember, I did hear Nikki say, and now it's off to South Carolina. Well, I love South Carolina. I love it. But, she forgot one thing. Next week, it's Nevada. Next week, it's Nevada. It's not South Carolina. We love South Carolina, but next week, it's Nevada. And I'm pleased to announce we just won Nevada. We just won 100%. Because all of them, they looked at it and they took polls, and I was polling at 95% to 4 or 5%, and they decided not to play in Nevada. So we just won Nevada. We have a man from Nevada here, Steve Wynn, wherever he may be, and John Paulson, the great John Paulson, made plenty of money in Nevada. Doesn't live there, but he makes a hell of a lot of money. He makes money everywhere he goes, actually. It's a money machine. Well, maybe we'll put you know what? Put him at Treasury. You want to make a little money? Let's put you. Anyways, good to have you guys. But we go to Nevada, and that's been won, so we pick up all of those delegates. And then we do go to South Carolina, where we've done really well, where I've done well. We have a great governor and lieutenant governor and great everything, because almost every one of them have endorsed me. 2 great senators, which is hard. I mean, did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician. That's why he's a great politician. So this is a great evening, and it is, we are going to Nevada for a little while. We're not going to have to do too much. We have a great team there. But it's a team that we can now send someplace else. They did a fantastic job, but and it's a fantastic place, really a fantastic place. But we'll be leaving there very quickly. We'll head out to South Carolina, where I think we're going to win easily. I think we're 50 points up, 5-0. 5-0, 50 points up on a person that was governor. That tells you something. But I felt I should do this because I find in life you can't let people get away with bullshit, okay? You can't. You just can't do that. And when I watched her in the fancy dress that probably wasn't so fancy come up, I said, what's she doing? We won. And she did the same thing last week, but he was much more angry about it than I was. I said, get up there and you let him know. We are going to win this. We have no choice. If we don't win, I think our country is finished. I do. I believe our country is finished. We have an opportunity to do something so amazing. And the good news, and the reason we have such support, the best numbers I've ever had, the reason we have support is because they are so bad at what they're doing and so evil, and they're destroying our country. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank this group of people. We will never forget you. We will never forget. And I made a pledge. I made a pledge to your state that you have the highest energy costs in the country. In the first year, they're going to be reduced by 50% because we are going to drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. Inflation's going to come way down.
Let's go.
But in the first year, your energy costs are going down by 50%. Thank you very much. We love you. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the trail. And thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. We will see you on the trail. Thanks.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. There was the Donald Trump victory speech and the actual victory speech, not the delusional pretend that I won victory speech. And you saw, obviously, cameos there from Vivek Ramaswamy and Tim Scott. Couple things to note, at least that I noticed, is, Trump's Iowa speech was very gracious. It was very unifying, right? It was very like, hey, congratulations to the other candidates, whatever. I think in some ways that was the peace offering to the other candidates, to Vivek, who obviously got out the night of, to DeSantis, to Haley. But now you notice in this speech, and you love to see it, because if there's any Republican that it warrants being aggressive towards, it is that neocon scumbag that we talk about all the time, Nikki Haley. He was totally gloves off with her, right? He was very aggressive with her. He enlisted the help of Vivek, which really is a dream team, because we know Nikki Haley's least favorite person, the best Nikki Haley hater on the planet, is of course Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He brought Vivek on the stage to rip into her, cameo from Tim Scott, which, I'm not the biggest Tim Scott fan. I'm pretty apathetic towards him overall, but I will say, I think the good optics of you doing that is, A, he's a former presidential candidate, which obviously that's good for unity, but also B, you want to know the real reason he has Tim Scott up there is because Tim Scott is not just a senator from South Carolina, but as he pointed out there, the South Carolina senator that Nikki Haley appointed to that position. So that's really like a big shot in the face at Nikki Haley saying, hey, I run your state, right? I'm in your turf and I dominate you on your own turf. So that's what that was about. So that's why I'm actually a fan of that, right? Not the biggest Tim Scott fan, but if you use them correctly like that, that's good politics. That's really like a big own on Nikki Haley, and I certainly appreciate that. But let's take a look back now. I mean, it's been a couple minutes here since we've even looked at the election results. And again, folks, we are doing this live currently at the moment. So, if people are curious watching the replays of these clips as to why it's kind of functioning the way it is. Okay, Donald Trump, the margin has not moved much, but with 46% of the votes in, Trump has 77,000 to Nikki Haley 66,000. And the margin currently is 53.1% to 45.4%. But so there's the update on the election. Anyways, just talking a little bit here more, folks, about that speech. You know what? On some level, maybe it's a good thing that Nikki Haley won't drop out of the race. And you say, Vince, why is that? Well, we did hear rumors back in January that Trump was considering picking Nikki for vice president. I was not happy with that. At the same time, I did say at the time, they're rumors. I mean, I've heard all sorts of names. Everyone claims, hey, I know who Trump's VP is going to be. I spoke to him. It's not. You know how it is. But that's the rumor we were spreading. I mean, not that we were spreading, but the mainstream media was spreading. Arguably one could make the case that was meant to subvert Trump or try to lose confidence with the base with Trump before Iowa. Regardless, who knows? I will say this, though, right? The fact that Nikki Haley's being so stubborn verifies, in my opinion, she's not going to be the VP. Okay, because now, as you can tell by the tone of Trump's voice, back with Iowa, it was just sort of a situation of, okay, you guys did your best. Congratulations on trying. Let's all come together now. You can hear it in the tone of Trump's voice now. He is pissed at Nikki Haley, does not like the woman, very frustrated with the fact that Nikki won't get out of the race. And in some ways, that is a good thing. Right? In some ways, that is a good thing because Trump did say the other day pretty explicitly, he says she's not going to be the VP. Like he said that in a rally. But if you had questions about that, I think the fact that Nikki is now pissing Trump off, now really rubbing him and a lot of people the wrong way by stubbornly refusing to drop out and by going out there claiming that you won. Again, it's kind of stupid. It's sort of laughable to make fun of. But at the same time, folks, there is arguably something to be said about that that's kind of positive in a way that, hey, at least we know now that they're really not on good terms, right? Nikki, by doing this, by chasing her own ego, by chasing her own check, doing whatever she's trying to do, proving a point, I think she's really on Donald Trump's bad side now. Now, when she drops out and endorses him, inevitably, will that relationship be healed slightly? Maybe. But you have to imagine that trust is seriously broken now, right? Because if the trust between Trump and DeSantis is shaky still, even though they're on the same team now, And you notice DeSantis has not come out to campaign for Trump, and there's probably a reason for that. DeSantis got out after Iowa. DeSantis was a lot more gracious towards Trump than Nikki Haley. What's it going to be like with Nikki Haley? So that's the silver lining in all this, is the longer Nikki Haley goes, the more she is ensuring Trump will never trust her or forgive her, which is what we want, ultimately. But yeah, folks, there is the Donald Trump speech. We will, let's see, I mean, how long do we want to keep streaming for? I mean, we can continue to sit back and watch these results. They're frankly coming in pretty slow. Or we could tune into TYT and listen to Cenk Uygur explain his defeat tonight. So, you know, we could do either of those things. But yeah. All right, moving on here, ladies.